I would love continue to listen to music and sing along. I don't want to get flagged. Oh my god, I sound so boring right now. Let's spice it up. Forgive me for this. I am going on a motorcycle ride, probably, unless I collapse over the next couple days. I'm gonna be going on a motorcycle ride on the Harley that I initially, like the first bike that I rode and made a video on. I'm gonna be riding that bike up to Twisted Sisters with my usual group because getting to the main topic of the video, how fucking busy I've been. Art and school, I guess school is art and I am art, and what week is it? Oh god. I knew that it was gonna suck so bad if I tried to make a video right now because my mind is just somewhere else, you know? Oh god. I'm making this video because I need to make a video, because if this ride is happening on Sunday and I release videos on Monday, I'm not gonna have any time to be able to edit and release the video on time. Ooh, that came up pretty quick. Should I be driving right now? Yeah. I'm so excited over stupid shit right now. Update, the reason why I haven't recorded fucking anything at all is because I've been at school about 80%, if not more, of my waking life, and I just haven't had the camera or anything to really talk about. All of my folk who are interested in that are interested. I'm so fucked right now. This is the second week in a row that I have spent all of Monday night at the university without sleeping or really like eating so much. It's all about trying to get into like a non-drug induced altered state, just into a realm where you can just keep working and you don't really, you stop kind of thinking about what you're making, and it just happens. And even when, you know, you think that you're unsuccessful at something, you are somehow, you like I said, you think that you're creating shit, but then somebody else looks at it, or like your professors or something, 'cause they're more credible than fellow classmates, and you see something in it that, or they see something in it that you never would have seen on your own. And it's pretty cool because half the time you feel like you're creating a lot of shit, and they'll kind of like validate that you're actually kind of getting across what you're trying to. We're not gonna come and go around the Mr. Bus or Mrs. Bus, or why does it even have to be tied down by gender? Okay, with last night, it's been about 12 hours this week of actual sleep, which I don't know if you keep track of how much sleep somebody should have for 4 days, but that's not it. Yesterday, Wednesday, I didn't have anything to eat or drink for over a period of 24 hours. I mean, it's dangerous because I was working on artwork in the studio before I left at like 6 o'clock to go to karate, and I almost passed out a few times. I get to school most days by about 6:30 in the morning, and I usually leave by about 6 in the afternoon. When you're at like school, you have at least like you have 2 different studio classes, and then sometime around like the edges, buffering around those studio classes, that you can actually like talk to other people and get that interaction that you need, and you're not like in the zone working constantly. But when you're there all night, you can get in periods of like 12-hour periods where you're just working and you're not thinking about anything else. Like, the reason why I didn't eat at all yesterday was because I got to school, and because I had left early. I meant to stay to 6 o'clock the day before, but because on Tuesday, that was, you know, I was coming off of like upwards now of 36 at that time hours without sleeping, and it started to rain outside, and the week before it was pretty dangerous when I was driving home at about 6 o'clock because I just could not focus on anything, so I wanted to make sure I could make it home safe while I still, you know, was all there and cognitively could drive safely in rain and traffic and everything. So there was a lot of stuff that I was working through in my mind, and I've been writing a hell of a lot because there's so many different connections that I'm trying to articulate to other people, because half of the battle of being an artist is being able to tell somebody where you got your references from or what you're trying to do. What was I about to say? I don't remember anymore. A good fine art student does is you look at a bunch of different artists and you reference their artwork in your own, so like you're inspired by them. It's essentially to non-artists, and this is the most blunt way to put it, even though it's technically not, is stealing ideas or styles from other artists. But it's not really stealing because everybody learns from everybody else, and it's kind of like in science, if somebody makes a big breakthrough, about, like, a physicist makes a big breakthrough, you should be able to take from that and expand and possibly go even farther than you ever thought was possible before. And that's why, you know, technology keeps increasing, because people keep taking ideas from other people and expanding them in ways that they never thought that I think I just said that. Anyway, that's kind of like what artists do, and like you are kind of in a way stealing from a lot of other people, but it's to make these bigger breakthroughs in it. There's this huge rift between being just an artist, because I think everybody is an artist, and there's different ways to create art, like everywhere, you know, martial arts, health, arts, words not coming to me, because being an artist, what art is something that's so fluid. It's just about abstract thinking and problem solving and being able to think creatively and everything. That's what essentially being an artist is. But being a fine artist, there's this huge rift between what this means, because people get terminology, and there's a lot of contempt for fine artists, because so many of them they're so contrived, and it kind of makes people hate them, because you're like pompous asshole kind of state at that point if you're a fine artist. Because it's when people make art that is like more commercialized, it's in a way that the common people will understand. It's commission, it's design, it's, you know, like concept art, video games, website design, different shit like this that people find useful. Or there's blue light, there's a huge blue light over there. Whoa, what was I talking about? Okay. As somebody who is trying to be a fine artist, I should specify what defines a fine artist traditionally is an education in art history, and there's a very specific mindset that a fine artist has that somebody who does commercialized work for a living and doesn't do fine art at all doesn't have. Like, I've worked on commission several times, a lot, and there's just, it's empty, it's hollow, there's nothing else there, you're just making money. It's funny when non-fine art majors like BAs, or, you know, new people who are coming into the programs are talking about what defines art, and, you know, they'll reference Claes Oldenburg all the time, or people who have done kitsch or Dada, Duchamp, and they'll say, well, if they do this, why isn't it art if I do that? like Picasso, he learned the rules before he could break them. And like the reason why there's so many batshit crazy college students who are college student artists who are like making collectives and doing a bunch of shit together and just being like super out there and crazy and just pushing limits, which, you know, you kind of think is bullshit when you look at it, and I think half the time it is. There's a good portion here where it's not bullshit. It's Jesus Christ, people. Now that I've like had points in time where I've actually like gotten into these states of mind, and you know, it gets so frustrating being so controlled by everything, and you gotta kind of find your voice in it, and it's really hard because it's like what I've been doing is getting kind of stuck in the monotonous routine of I'm good at rendering. I can do that really well, and like realism and everything, but it's not, there's nothing else there to it. Anyway, so it's like when people come into painting 1 and like they're like freshmen and they want to be doing abstract art, like this is a thing that they want to do. You can't be an abstract artist like look dude, look. Turn your fucking lights on. Your running lights are not your fucking headlights. So yeah, you can't come in not knowing the rules of art and then try and be this, because it's shallow. Somebody who has learned it can look at it and tell that you are a beginner, and there's no other substance to it. You're half the time people who are coming in just wanting to be abstract artists are people who can't draw, or abstract painters I should say. They can't draw, they can't be accurate, so they're trying to find some other way to be an artist, which is great. Please do that, but there are many other ways to be an artist, not just making abstract or drawing or painting. Don't let people convince you of that. There's a whole realm of time-based artwork that's new media, sound design, artistic videos, not like filmography, sculpture. There's so much that you can do to try and find your voice. Limiting yourself to drawing or painting and I want to be an abstract painter isn't the way to go. It's not. And please, if you're going to go to art school, be open to everything. Learn the rules. If you are in a drawing class or a painting class, fucking like paint, learn, do something. Don't just make shapes and colors and everything. And especially like if you have no idea about color theory, take a color theory class, because I need to like retake one, because it's been so long that I'm struggling with color right now. I really am. There's so next semester is my last semester at this school, and there is still so much that I need to take. Depending on how this semester keeps going and where I feel like I am mentally for next semester, I might actually take more classes. Which I never thought I'd hear myself say. Like, I thought that I was going to be killing myself with keeping up with these 4 classes, but I'm actually like getting somewhere, you know? And it's great. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm talking about, you know, staying up all night, not eating, not drinking, but I'm putting a ton of stress on my body, but it's in like eustress. That's the good kind of stress, not distress. So I'm actually I'm feeling really good. Like, I'm getting my energy from creating, and I'm like, I have this momentum that I just need to keep going. I stayed up all night at the university making stuff, not because I had anything due, which is the reason why most people stay. I stayed doing it and making because I wanted to, because there's a lot of things that I have to get out right now, and there's not enough time in the day, and I'm not productive enough at home. because all of my stuff is at the university. I need to be there. I need to be creating constantly. That's the only way that, like, I'm making these steps. I'm getting closer to like kind of breakthroughs, because I'm just working so much. And that's one of the hardest things about art school, is having this motivation to keep making, because you got to find what's holding you down and kind of do away with it, and just get in a place where, and I mean, it's really hard, especially if you have a job, relationships, all of the above. It's really very difficult to just give yourself to being an artist. A lot of people don't have this time commitment, and so you got to kind of question at that point if you think that this is actually the right path for you to take, because it probably isn't, unless, like, you gotta get your priorities straight. If art is something that you need to do, it's inherent in your soul, then give yourself to it, man. Keep making. Don't stop. No matter, even if it's getting frustrating. Keep talking to people. Keep working through what you're working through. And don't let anybody else in your fucking life tell you that it's not important, or that, like, come home, you should sleep, you should eat. It's, your reality is your own. You're only going to be able to make these connections if you put the time in, if you put the effort in, and if you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, then find something else so that you don't burn out, so you don't hate yourself for doing something that you should enjoy doing, you know? It's difficult being in art school, and you can get a BA if you're planning on teaching, or if you want to go into, like, some kind of commercial work with art. That's great. That's perfect. Do what you want to do in that realm. But if you're trying to be a fine artist, if you want galleries and something deeper in your artwork, you want to be one of these people on Art 21 who's talking about all this deeper meaning in what art can be, and the theories behind it, and philosophy. This has to be what you want to do. There's so many, and, like, the art program here is dying. Art programs are dying everywhere, but it's really hard to be motivated. It really is. And there's so many people who just don't put the time or effort in, because I know I used to be like that too when I was a certain mental state, like depression, and I just couldn't physically, wasn't able to put in the time that I needed to. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm sorry that there haven't been any motorcycle videos. I'm getting another motorcycle video next week. As, like I've said before, just won't have time to edit the ride before Monday, so enjoy the little art talk. If you want more art talks, like if you're an aspiring artist, I love talking about art. So please tell me, and I'll make a more concise video later at some point when I'm not as fucking loopy as hell. Okay, thanks guys, y'all are awesome. Okay, peace.